The views and opinions on this show are for entertainment purposes only. The only factual information is any story that has happened to AT2 or the parties involved. Other than that, go ahead and get you a drink, get you something to eat, just relax and enjoy the show. Let's have fun. All right, y'all, let's get real. Yo, so I've always wondered if I had siblings out there that I didn't know about. Mainly the reason why I wanted to know if I had siblings out there, not for any kind of medical reasons, just to know whether or not I can borrow some money from them. Just being honest. Let's go ahead and get started with the show, y'all. What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. And of course, I'm your host, AT2, hashtag TTRD. For those of you who don't know what that stands for, Talk the Real Deal. But anyway, make sure if you guys want to be notified of the next show, please text me at 510-600-6676, 510-600-6676. All right, you guys, let me say what's up to the people first before I start the show. What's up, Mimi? What's up, Gia? What's up, Shell? Shell, me, I'm your big sis. Thank you, Shell. I appreciate that. What's up, Mina? What's up? How everybody doing out there? Maria? All right. Ruby girl. Who else we got up in here? We got Elise. Elise, I see you too. Shout out to all my members. Angie, Jenny, Vegas girl, Stephanie. Okay, we got the heavy hitters up in there. Winnie, Miss B-More. All right, you guys. So I was trying to find a title for the video and stuff like that. And what I thought of was Finding Sisters. I feel like that title was already stolen. But what's up, Jay? But, I was kind of just messing around with the title. And then because I wanted to bring you guys a story. And I appreciate, what's up, Caroline, Miss Joelle? I appreciate, Fields of Grace and also her sister Angie. What's up, Gina, for being so gracious enough to tell us their story on this platform. Oh, you like the shirt? Thank you. I know it does sound like a Lifetime movie, huh? That's funny. But can you imagine like not knowing that you had, or knowing that you had siblings out there, but not being able to have any kind of communication or find out who they are? Unfortunately for me, I know my siblings, so I don't have an interesting story at all. But anyway, and they get on my nerves, but I love them anyway. But without further ado, let me go ahead and start rambling off and running my mouth. I just want to go ahead and introduce first up. You guys know her, Fields of Grace, Kim. I've been featured on her show. She's an amazing woman. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring her up right now. Welcome to the show, Fields of Grace.
All right. Hey, everybody. And I know it's not my show, but hey to the chat. Thank you for being here. I love you.
Yes.
And I appreciate you. Okay.
Yes. And how are you feeling today? Because I think this is your first time telling the story publicly, right?
I'm kind of nervous. I'm excited. I know some of mine and probably Angie's too, other family members are going to see this and learn for the first time. So, yeah, I'm kind of nervous, but I'm I'm also excited. And yes, it does sound like a Lifetime movie. And if y'all can get them to contact me, I'll definitely do it and I'll share the money with you.
Right. Right. All right, Kim. So what I wanted to do first is just if you could tell us a little bit about your channel for the people that don't know you or watching for the first time seeing you. If you could just tell us a little bit about your channel before we get into the story.
Okay, my channel is, as you see, Fields of Grace 101, and that's on here and on IG. You can contact me at any time. My channel, and I really don't know what sector I fit into. I absolutely do not fit into the beef sector. I will not get into any of that. I know AT2 is ducking his head. I'm not getting into any of that. My message is a message of hope and love and togetherness.
But you can be like a spiritual advisor of the beef sector.
I will be a spiritual advisor. I'm going to go in there and tell you when
everybody has their role, you know.
I think there's room enough for every one of us on YouTube. Y'all, we could all be millionaires off of YouTube. And I know that people love a train wreck. And I know that people love to watch people fight. But you got to step back and think, at the end of the day, these are real people with real feelings and real emotions.
Right. And shout out to V real quick. Yes, thank you, Maria. She had shared in the comments that her sister, she actually found out that she had a sister, and before they actually got to meet, I'm paraphrasing, before they got to meet, she actually passed away, her sister. So I'm sorry about that.
Sorry. I am so sorry, because as we get into the story, you'll see that there were deaths in our family before it came together too, which is sad on some parts, and it's kind of a relief on the others. But I am so sorry you didn't get to meet your sister, because I love mine so much.
Right. Well, let's go ahead and get into the story. So how did this even come about? How'd you even, did you know that you had siblings out there? That's the first question. Did you know that you had siblings out there?
I knew I had an older brother, and that's because my mother knew. I'm just going to tell you, I'm 50 years old. Okay. So 36 years ago, there was no internet. There was no Facebook. There wasn't even AOL or DOS. Let me tell you, there wasn't even DOS yet. I had to learn DOS in my
What about the Yellow Pages?
They did have Yellow Pages, but I didn't even know where to start looking.
Right.
I was born in Mississippi in 1970, and my mother remarried in 74, and my stepdad was a project manager of a construction company, so we had to move every time his job was up. So we were moving. We never finished school in the same school we started that school year. We always moved. And then when we got to Alabama, I was in 3rd grade. I had a sister in 4th grade, and I had a brother that was in 2nd grade. And Mom said, I'm not moving again. You know, we're just not moving again. So we got a house, and my stepdad traveled. Well, I'm going to say around the age of 10 or 11, when I really got to paying attention to school records and all, I didn't understand why my mama and I had different last names. Now, I've got an older sister. We had the same last name, and our brother had a different last name. And I would ask her, and she really wouldn't comment on it. And then the kids at school kept telling me that wasn't my daddy. And I went home and asked her, I said, is he my daddy? And she said, no. And I said, well, where's my dad? She said, I don't know.
You know, it's so crazy because, like, I've always had my dad in my life, but, you know, definitely I've seen how it affected people, kind of like, you know, like, who's my dad? Like, because some people go like, I don't care about finding him. I don't care who he is. You
Mhm.
know, I don't care about having a relationship. But for me, because I have my dad in my life, I always wonder. And shout out to Michelle. Michelle actually said like her sister recognized her. She never knew who her dad was, and then until later, and found out. That's how she found out about her sister. Shout out to Michelle. Um, but you know, I never even think about that. So you actually had questions, you know, like you just didn't grow up and be like, oh, I don't care, you know, it is what it is. Like you had questions like, I want to know, you know, how
Yeah,
was that?
and that's the way God made me. I've always I got to know why and how things work. I want to say this to the chat. I'm not trying to be rude, but if I read your comments, I'm going to start crying and I'm not going to be able to tell my story. Y'all can DM me later. I'll be glad to talk to anybody. I love you and thank you for being here, but I can't look at them. Okay. Um,
Right. I know this is a very emotional, and they
it's
understand.
it's tough, and like I said, this is the first time I've told anybody, and actually, it's the first time some of our family's gonna see it. Hey, original Dawson girl, I love you. Thank you for being here and supporting me. I love you so much. Um, Whenever I had asked my mom where my dad was, the only answer I ever got was I don't know. And then I had horror stories of him. Of he left us, we didn't need him, he was abusive, and just a whole lot of horror stories that I really don't want to get into.
Right. You don't, yeah, you don't have to get into
I
that.
don't want to hurt either side of the family. I don't want to hurt my mom's side of the family, and my dad's side of the family is huge. Um, and I call him my dad. That slips out at times because he was not a dad. He was a sperm donor. He's a biological father. But his side of the family is huge and they've been loving and welcoming.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
at 14, I really um I wanted to know him. I wanted to know why he left, where he was, what he was thinking. I wanted to know everything. I wanted to, okay, if this is half of my DNA, I want to know about it. I wanted to punch him. I wanted to hug him. I wanted to know. And my mother didn't want me to, so I had no help.
Mhm.
I got married at 16 years old and I contacted my lights are flickering. I
I see.
contacted yeah, my mom's with me. I contacted Social Security and I didn't know how I said, how do you get somebody's social security number? And the man said, you ask them. I broke down crying. It hit me so
Mm.
hard and I was so frustrated. And he took a couple of steps back and I told him, I said, if I could talk to him, I wouldn't need his social.
Right. You
I
would have
said,
done that. You know, like that's the
I
crazy
said,
part why he would ask you that.
I told him, I said, my biological father created me because after my mom got pregnant with me, they were already separated. And he came back, and after she got pregnant with me, she never saw him again. And she filed for divorce while she was pregnant with me. And at that time, remember, this is 1970, a fetus was not considered a human until it took its first breath. So I was not considered a baby, and he could not rule on custody of an unborn child. So she
Oh
had to wait till
wow.
after I was born and was born alive before the judge would rule on custody and grant the divorce. And because they couldn't find him, the judge went ahead and granted it. And there my mom was with my older sister and me. And yes, my older sister and I had the same biological parents, both of them.
Mm.
She chooses not to be a part of this, and that's okay. Um,
Right.
That's okay. That's her business.
Right. We respect her choice.
Yeah. But anyway, after I talked to Social Security, he told me, he said, write a letter to your biological father and say everything you could possibly say, because this will be the only chance you get if he chooses not to respond. And they told me to put it in an unsealed envelope and then write them a letter and include the letter and the unsealed envelope, send it to them, why did I want to meet him or whatever. And if they found him, they would forward the letter to him, but they would never let me know whether they did or not. So I was just kind of back in limbo again. And then November 30th, which is my birthday, y'all write it down. November 30th.
It's coming soon.
Of 1991. I was 21 years old. His mother, and I'm going to call her my grandmother, called me, because it's not her fault he was the way he was. And
Right.
she was a very lovely lady, sweet, caring. And I met her before I met him. And
Oh, wow.
the first thing she said is, he can't deny you. You look just like him. And he refused to lose. And unapologetically curious. But she said, you look just like him. And after that, I waited and waited. And she said she didn't know where he was. He would come and go. But when he came back, she would give him the letter.
Mm-hmm.
And Christmas Eve of that year, he called me. And he said, I answered the phone. And he said, is this Kim? And I said, it is. He said, I understand you're looking for your father. I said, I'm looking for my biological father. And he said, well, I'm him. And the first thing I said is, why the hell did you leave? That was my first question to him. And he said, there were things going on that you just don't need to know about. And I told him, I said, I went in hot and heavy. I mean, that first conversation, because I was going to get my jabs in.
Right.
And I said,
and you had every right.
You didn't care. You left. You never supported us. You never did anything for my mom. This, and this is what I've heard of you. And you need to prove differently. And he didn't. I did meet him. I gave birth to my daughter January of 92. So when I met him, I was big and pregnant and wasn't going to travel when I talked to him.
Right.
And then after she was born, he lived 2 hours away from me most of my life.
And you didn't even know?
I was in Alabama. He was in Florida.
Wow.
But we met him, and he came and he stayed one weekend with us. And he woke up drinking. He drank and popped pills all day long. And he went to sleep drinking. And I told him, I said, I don't want this around my children. I had a 3-year-old and a newborn. And I said, you can either choose to have a relationship with us and have us in your life, or you can choose drugs and alcohol. And he chose drugs and alcohol. And over the next, well, let me back up. Let me back up. One thing I did ask him is, do I have brothers and sisters? He told me of my older brother, which I already knew, and told me there were no more.
Oh, he told you there were no more. Like,
there were no more. He never remarried. Keep that in mind, and we will come back to that.
Yeah.
That Sean Patrick, if you're out there, we would really like to talk to you. I think I have sent you a message. Please respond.
Right.
But
Hey, Sean, click the link. I'm just kidding.
there you go. They
Sean,
don't know
click
what
the
that
link.
means. I did reach out on LinkedIn and send him a link to my Instagram. So yes, I
Okay,
can't say it
hopefully
like
he
y'all
does.
do, but like I said, he said that we didn't have siblings, and I would get phone calls, and I didn't know if he had overdosed or if he was just so drunk he was out of his mind. But a couple of times I would have a hospital call me because my number was in his wallet, and
Mm,
they would need his medical records. And I'm like, look, I don't know this man. I don't
right.
know anything about his history. I
Yeah.
don't know him. And I
He
would,
helped create you, but you really didn't have a relationship with him.
he was a sperm donor. I mean, mama didn't have to go through IV fertilization, and she got me. I
Hmm.
mean,
Thank you, Queen.
there was something good about him because I can tell you of 3 daughters that he created that are wonderful people. I know that, and I know when Angie comes on, she can tell you some more about that. But we know of at least, I think, 7 other siblings
Oh,
that are
wow.
out there. And then there's a 10-year gap. I think it's 10-year. Angie can correct me. Gap where we can't find children, and then again in 85 they pick up. So for it was around
Mm.
75 to 85 we didn't find him, but we know he didn't stop. He
Mm.
didn't stop at all.
So
But
there could be more than 7 out there. Well,
oh,
there is more
absolutely,
than 7. You said it picked up again, right?
yeah, we know there's more than 7. Well, just we know there's more than 7. And I will go ahead and say this. I did not hear from him personally. Like I said, he called me drunk. He would call me so drunk he wouldn't even know what he was saying. I was a nurse and a paralegal, and he would tell people I was a doctor and an attorney. And I told him, I said,
Mm.
look, if I'm not good enough for you being who I am, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Leave me alone again. You did so well for 21 years. Leave me alone again. He did. I
Right.
did
But you
not
know what?
hear.
I was kind of thinking he might have been so drunk that he didn't remember exactly. 'Cause, you
Mhm.
know, you said he struggled with addiction and stuff. So he probably thought you said it and didn't really know. Because I know you told me this before, but I kind of remember I was like, maybe that's what it was, you know?
Yeah. There. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. And no, I'm not a goody two shoes, but I have never done any kind of street drug, not even marijuana. Oh, you're monetized.
Oh, no,
Okay,
it's
I
fine.
don't
Don't
know
worry.
MJ. She's not a friend of mine, never met her.
Yeah. Mary
Mm,
Jane. Yeah,
yeah.
you've never done
Yeah.
that.
I did work for a woman named Mary Jane though. And the the liquid stuff, I never messed with it. And well, a lot of y'all know my health issues. I couldn't anyway.
Mhm.
But even before I was diagnosed in you, I was scared to do either one of those because I know I have an addictive personality, and I was so afraid of following in his footsteps. I will tell you, he had the mind of a genius and could have been anything in the world. And this is the life he chose. For
Mhm.
all the lies that he told and he was able to keep up with or cover them with more lies, the man had a brain like crazy. And he very, very smart, very intelligent. He just used it the wrong way. I
Right.
did
Right.
not have any kind of personal relationship with him again. Um, and that was in June of 93 is the last time I talked to him because he was going to be at my son's 4th birthday party, and
Mhm.
we didn't hear from him again. until June of 2008. And my cousin found my son on, at the time, it was, come on, what was right before Facebook? MySpace.
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 My
Yeah.
cousin found him, contacted him, and he said, yeah, I'll give y'all mama's number. I'll give y'all mama's number, but I'm going to talk to him first. And my son told him, he said, look, I have to forgive you for me, but you screwed with my head. You told me you were going to be at my 4th birthday. You didn't tell me it was going to be 20 years later. And he said, but I'm going to tell you what, I forgive you. And I'm going to give you my mama's number. And he did. And our biological father's name is Lloydpatrickfields. My mom knew him by Pat. And other people knew him by different names, but Mama knew him by Pat. That's what I always heard him called. And when his brother gave him my phone number, because his brother's the one that got in touch with everybody, he called me and told me he had cancer. He was dying. And I was living in Louisville, Kentucky at the time. He wanted me to quit my job and go stay with him in Pensacola, Florida. And I refused.
Wow.
I told him, I said, no, I am not giving up my life. I gave up enough of it for you.
Right.
I gave up enough years because of you. I'm not losing my job. I'm not giving up my home. I'm not giving up my family. I was talking to him when he died. It was June 20th of 2008. It was Father's Day. And whenever he passed away, I did go to the funeral, and I was able, and pardon the pun, but I was able to put a nail in that coffin. It was,
right.
I was able to close that chapter. And again, he had told me I had no other siblings. I knew in my heart, I felt in my heart, I did.
Right. It gave you the closure that you needed in a weird way. You know, it really did give you that kind of like, okay, you know, we didn't have the best relationship, you know, he was your bio dad, but at the end of the day, you had to be able to let it go, and his passing almost helped you with that. I hate to say it like that, but it helped you let it go.
It did help me. And I ain't gonna lie, I cried. I cried for the years we lost, for the years that I was mad, I was hurt, I was angry. I had so many emotions that I had to deal with that I did let it out in tears a lot.
Right, right.
But no, I never mourned the fact that he was gone. I had already done that. It seems like I had done that my whole life.
Right.
And
So,
to me, it was just finally, okay, I don't have to worry about him being out there. And that may sound bad, but that's the truth.
right. And that's your truth, you know, definitely. So now that when he had passed away, did you kind of like fill this void like, well, I know there's other me's out there. Like, do I want to, you know, I want to find this, and I know I don't want to go too deep and personal because you have told me some stuff, but you know, now that you were kind of ready to open up, because at first you weren't going to be able to open up. And so now that you were ready to open up, how did this all start where you actually found Angie?
I went, like I said, at that time on MySpace, and y'all, I went through, I had a little bit of information on my brother. I stalked that man. I searched for him, and there are a lot of people with that name. And I had a estimate of the birthday because the sister that I lived with, that I grew up with, was born in August of 69. And I was born in November of 70. So it was before her.
Yeah.
So it was either 67 or 68 that he was born, that I thought. Okay, that was my mindset. And I stalked everybody I could find on MySpace. And then I reversed it. I said, okay, well, maybe I can find somebody under his name.
Right.
And then as that was evolving, Google was coming about, and I Googled his name, and I found in Google, and this is before it got, okay, when the internet first started, it wasn't as tight and secure as it is now, because I was able to pull up marriage certificates, and I'm like, he told me he never remarried, and here's marriage certificates, here's divorce certificates. They've got to have children. So I started searching for children under those names, and I never could find children, although I could find traces of him. And I still looked, and every time something else came up, like Facebook came up, I started searching again. Let me back up. I left out one part. When I met him, I also met my cousin Kelly, and she's just a couple of years younger than me. I will not tell her story out of respect for her, but we had a lot in common, and we met, so I knew her.
Okay.
She and her dad reunited. And they still talk. I mean, they've had a wonderful relationship. God bless her. I'm proud for her. She was actually instrumental in finding me when my dad was dying. And she and I had kept in touch off and on. And we had kept in touch on Facebook off and on. And she had put me in a private group for that side of the family. And in all my looking, I have actually been friends with Angie on Facebook for several years and thought she was just another cousin. We never talked or anything. And I was actually preparing for a show. I haven't done many lives on my channel, but y'all, when I do lives, I have notes. I prepare. I have it. And I might not ask the first question, but I prepare.
Right.
Okay. So I was sitting down preparing for a show, and I got a Facebook message, and I'm not on Facebook much anymore. And somebody says, how do you fit into the Fields family? And I was like, whoa. I mean, it's like I was hit upside the head, you know?
Right.
And I stopped for a minute. I said, who are you? And she said, who is your father? And I said, again, who are you? And she said, is Lloydpatrickfields your father? I said, who are you? You know, who are you?
Right. How you know all this information?
That name has not come up in a minute. And she said, if he's your father, I'm your cousin. And I said, oh, really? And she told me who she was. She said, and your sister is on Facebook. I said, I know. I grew up with her. We talk. I know. She said, no, your other sister. And I was like, what's her name? She gave me her name instantly. I sent Angie a message. I said, I was just told you were my sister. Contact me. And she did instantly.
Wow. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring up Angie and get her side of things. Hey, Angie, how are you doing?
Good. Hi, everybody.
Thank you. And thank you for coming up and, speaking with us, because you're not a content creator, right? You're not a YouTuber or anything like that.
I am not. I have no idea what I'm doing other than talking to you guys.
Oh, trust me, you in for a treat. But
I
but
told
anyway,
her
no,
you
it's
would
gonna
be
be
good
peaceful
to
today,
her. I told
right?
her you would be awesome. So,
Thank you, thank you.
and
So Andy, I
chatting
kind of
nice.
wanted to get your background. Your bio dad, biological for the people out there. I just struggle saying that. Your bio dad. Did you have any relationship with him or knew who he was?
No, I had no clue.
Okay, you had no clue who he was.
I did not even know that my dad was not my dad till I was in my 20s.
Oh wow! So you had a stepfather, but you technically knew him as your
My
dad.
dad, right. Yeah,
Okay.
my grandmother that I grew up with accidentally told me one day.
Oh no! It's always them grandmas. Always gotta
Yeah,
say.
we were just having a conversation one day and she said, "Yeah, I've always told him I thought you were his." And I'm like, "Really? Okay." And then so light bulbs started going off and everything just kind of fell into place after that.
Wow. And so,
So
how was that? If you don't mind, you don't have to go into detail. How was that conversation when you brought that up with your parents? Like, like, am I the milkman baby? Like, it's like one of those things. Like, you're kind of like, wait, what's going on?
no, I did have that conversation with my mom, and
Okay.
she's just like, that was a very painful thing because she was dating our dad, and she did not know after finding out everything and talking with Kim and learning everything that I have up to this point. She did not know that he was married to Kim's mom when she was dating him.
Mm.
Because they were living in a different state and he was running himself all over the place doing whatever he wanted to do at the time. And
You
so
can tell our birthdays. I didn't tell yours.
so when they were dating, just, like my mom thought she was dating a man she liked. And when she became pregnant and informed him that she was pregnant with me, he disappeared. Just like he did with Kim's mom.
Oh.
So when me and my mom were having this conversation, she's like, that was a very painful time. She said, one day we'll talk about it. Like, can we not do it today? It's,
Mm.
and for me, it was okay because I really didn't care. Like you said earlier in the conversation with Kim, I didn't care to know him because he left me. And if you didn't care to know me, I don't care to know you because you missed out on a really great kid.
Right.
And so I didn't miss anything in my life. My mom and dad provided everything I needed. I was a happy kid. I had a happy life. I missed out on nothing. So I didn't care. I didn't care to know him. And that's the way I've lived my life for 51 years. And so one day I just came across Ancestry DNA kits and I said, you know what? Let me do this and just see what's out there. And so I spit in that little tube and I sent it in. And 6 weeks later, I have an entire family I didn't know existed. And
So
there they are.
crazy. I actually did the DNA test too. That's funny that the ancestry. That's actually funny. You mentioned that. So you took this test and now you have this whole family you didn't even know about. So like, how was that?
That was actually insane because when my DNA results came back, the first person that popped up was our cousin Julie. And it says, this is your first cousin. And I sat here reading it, thinking, I know my cousins. This has to be on the paternal side. And so I contacted her and she immediately called me and she said, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, you're my cousin and this is your father. And in the first 5 minutes of that conversation, she told me more about him than I had ever known. And she said, this is his name and this is who, we are. And it just went from there. And then, like Kim said, we met on Facebook and we started comparing stories. And come to find out, when our older sister was being born, he was down here. I was conceived the month she was born. And when I was being born, Kim was being conceived. So Kim and I are actually 6 months apart. And the older sister and I
Wow.
are 9 months apart. So it was Faith, 9 months later, me, 6 months later, Kim.
Wow.
And
That
we
is
don't know how
crazy.
many, we don't know. I
So
mean, there could have
before
been.
us, yeah, before us, we know there's Patrick, and we're told Patrick has a sister.
And her name's supposedly Kim.
Also, yes.
Oh, okay. So her name is also Kim as well. Does
Yeah,
she have the
so
same last name, or you guys don't know if
yeah.
she's related?
He has the same last name. Sean Patrick Fields is his name. And from what I know, he was born in Jackson, Mississippi, somewhere between 67 and
Yeah.
68.
Oh,
But like
wow.
Angie said, it was Faith and then Angie and then me. And we're all within 15 months of each other, you know.
Wow.
But
So,
after Kim, there's 2 other sisters that we found through another marriage, and I've contacted them through Facebook. And one of those sisters and their mother have actually erased their contact information after we contacted them, so they don't want to be contacted. The other sister, she just didn't respond at all. She's still there, but just won't respond.
just won't respond. Yeah.
Right.
I
So
do want, I'm going to interrupt you just for 1 second, Angie, okay? Anybody that wants to contact us can contact us, and we'll give you that information later. But I promise, if you do not want to be bothered, we will not bother you. We
Right.
respect and understand that, and that's your choice.
You know what I was kind of thinking, that maybe the reason why, they're not ready or they haven't reached back out yet. From hearing you guys' story, it seems like there was all a traumatic experience with your bio dad. And so maybe they have a similar story, and it's kind of like something they bury. That's what I'm kind of thinking,
And I can
that maybe they're
understand
just
that.
not ready.
well, with the other 2 sisters that I found on Facebook, one of them was born. He left and went and married another woman in Florida, and then divorced her, went back to that mom and had the second sister. So he creates a lot of drama with everyone that he encounters. So you can completely understand why they wouldn't want, or they would have a picture in their mind of the drama that would come from anything that he was involved with. So it's completely understandable that they may not want to be involved with anything Phil's related.
Right, right, right. It's
And
one thing they have the last name, but then like to relive it again, I can definitely see that being traumatic for them. But what actually brought you 2 together wanting to get to know each other? Like, what was the difference between you 2 compared to the other ones? Not saying the other ones are wrong, but like, what connected you 2 together? I'm gonna start with you first, Angie, and then you, Kim.
I feel like, and I don't know, I can't speak for Kim, but for me, there's just some kind of cosmic connection with Kim. There's just something with Kim. I have a half sister and a half brother on the other side, and I don't have that same thing with them. It's just something with Kim. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it. There's just
Wow.
something with her. It's just a closeness that you can't describe unless you have it. And that's from me. I can't answer for her, but
Right. And what about you, Kim?
I have a connection with Angie that I do not have with the sister I grew up with that has both biological parents. Angie and I think so much alike, and we have such similar beliefs. I swear to you, her youngest son is my kid. I mean, that child is so much like me. And it's funny that she and I think so much alike, we can finish each other's sentences at times. And I've never had that connection with anybody before. And it's really nice to know that it's between us and didn't have to do with anybody surrounding us. Not a parent, not anybody. It's a God thing.
Right. And do you guys live close to each other?
No.
No, we're probably about 9 hours apart.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh, and have you guys met yet? That's another
Not yet.
question.
We're planning it, but not yet.
Okay.
I'm
Awesome.
gonna tell you what. I was born, as I said, in Mississippi in 1970.
Mhm.
Angie was born in 1970 in Texas. That's gonna tell you how much running around, and I ain't gonna say the H word. That was an H.
So your bio dad, basically, he stayed in the South, basically, right? Or do you
We
know
don't
that?
know.
Oh,
We don't. He's from New York.
Oh, so he's not even Southern. He's from New York.
He's Indian, actually.
Yes, I remember you told me that. Yes.
I'm jealous because when he died, he didn't have a single gray jet black hair. Now, I ain't gonna lie, he was a good looking, smart man. Well, look at us, you know.
Right.
He was
You
a
ladies
good
are
looking,
beautiful. So
smart man.
obviously.
He was. And who knows? He was a charmer. He was a liar. I mean, look how many women he played and how many hearts he broke along his trail in life. You can't do that by being an idiot.
Right. It's funny because somebody had made the Papa was a Rolling Stone, and I was about to do a little karaoke, but I didn't feel it was appropriate.
You can do your karaoke and you lighten the mood.
But you know, do you think that there was something that probably well, I guess this is a question more for Kim, but since you are familiar with the family on your dad's side a little bit, do you think something happened in his life that maybe he had a traumatic experience and then this is why he kind of was the way he was? Or
Angie, what is it? 9 brothers and sisters?
There's a bunch.
I think he
wow.
was one of 9. And I'm going to tell you, when I met him, I met one of his sisters, and I stayed in contact with her until she passed. I loved her. She was a beautiful woman to me. Others might not think so. I loved her. And she apologized to me on his behalf because of what he had done to us. They didn't know about it. His brothers and sisters didn't even know about us.
Wow.
His sister that I was in touch with never knew he had even been married, much less however many times with a trail of children.
Right. So this is probably a shock to the whole family. Like, wait, what's going on? Like, wow.
He does have at least one brother that I know of that is like him. I mean, so who knows? Nature versus nurture. And let me bring this in here with me being, as I was saying earlier, I have to know why. That's why psychology has just always been my thing. Why?
Right.
And Angie and I are such a perfect example of the argument, nature versus nurture, because we have so much in common that has absolutely nothing to do with the way we were born. I have a feeling, but we'll never know, because y'all know I lost my mom last year.
Right.
Angie still has her mom, and her mom's the same age my mom would be.
Oh, wow.
And I would really have liked to have gotten to know, because I have a feeling they were a lot alike. And like I said, Angie and I share spiritual beliefs. And I know my mom goes to see Angie. And I really believe that Mama had something to do with bringing us together, because Mom was gone almost a year. Well, she was gone about 6 or 7 months when I met Angie. So, somebody, I read a comment. I'm the youngest. There's Faith, and then Angie, and then me. But we're all right there together. Faith was born August of 69. Angie's May of 70.
Yeah.
And I'm November of 70. So I'm the youngest.
Right.
Yeah,
And
everybody's older than me.
and Angie, how has it been like with your family when you tell them like, "Hey, I found my sister"? Like, what was kind of the reaction that you got?
My mom was confused because, like I said earlier, she had no idea that he was married at the time
Mhm.
because, he gave her this line about how he lived local, he had a job here. They dated over time. She just thought he was a man she met here, and she was really confused. So I had to kind of explain it all to her, and we've not really talked anymore about it in depth since. So I don't really know how she's kind of computing all of it for herself.
Okay.
So yeah, she was a little confused. My sister, on the other hand, she's a little jealous because she doesn't want to share with Kim. So yeah, but they're good with it. They're happy about it.
That's good.
Yeah, my sister actually wanted to go with me to meet Kim, and I told her no because I wasn't going to share.
Hey, it's good to be selfish sometimes. I was just saying this last week. I was like, it's
We've
good to be
never
selfish.
had that chance. And
Yeah.
Right.
I guess one thing is we've never had sibling rivalry either. So that's good too.
Right. So, but other than that, nobody else really knows because I haven't seen any of my other family with COVID and everything. We're really not getting together. My
Right.
brother lives
Right.
in Dallas, so I haven't really talked to him. So, yeah, but my mom and my sister are the ones I'm the closest to. So,
Okay.
yeah, so that's where they are with that right now.
Yeah.
But my
And,
husband and my son, they're all cool with it. They're like, yeah, this is good. Let me do the test now. They're ready to spit in the tube.
and Angie, is there anything, if you did have a relationship with your bio dad, was there anything that you might wanted to ask him? I know you kind of said like, you didn't care, it is what it is, but is there anything that you might have wanted to ask him? Like maybe like, hey, I know you said I have an older brother, but like, where are the others? Like,
Right. That would be the only thing that I think I would be interested in is the trail of siblings. Because we all have a right to know our medical history. We all have
right.
a right to know each other. That would be the only thing.
That was the one thing that actually, before we got into detail, I told Angie, I said, write this down. I need to tell you some medical history of the family because it is genetic and you do need to know. So that's the first thing. That was one of the good things about meeting the rest of the family too,
Right.
because the cousin Kelly that I had met years before, we had talked about
Mhm.
a little bit, but neither one of us really knew the history.
Right. And Kim, for you, was there any questions that you might have wanted to ask your bio dad before he passed away, or no?
No, because he had lied to me so many times
Mm.
that it
There is
doesn't.
one question I just thought
Yeah.
of because I'm thinking about Kim's mom at the time. When you asked me that question is, I would like to ask him what made him feel entitled and what would give him the right to feel like he could treat women or treat people the way that he did
And
and do
children.
the things that he did to the women that he did these things to.
Mm.
Because her mom didn't deserve to be cheated on and be treated
Right.
the way that she was. And I came out of that. So, her mom didn't deserve that. My mom didn't deserve that. So
Right.
why did you feel entitled to be able to do that to people and walk away and create these children and have no remorse and, not take care of them and own up to
Mm.
your responsibilities? That would be the one question that I would have.
Ooh,
See,
that is very deep.
he was very physically abusive to my mother. I mean, he had knocked her teeth out, and
Mm.
I'm not going to go further. He was very physically abusive, and he would leave for months at a time. That's one of those times he left for months at a time is when Angie was created. We don't know how many others that there were
Right.
on the road from Mississippi to Texas. We don't know. We don't know. And
Right.
I that before he died, a couple of days before he died. I told him, and I remember it as plain as day. She hears me talking.
I'm sorry. She's
Put her
so
on camera. She's okay. We all love pets. You just pick her on up.
I think she heard the garbage truck.
Stop.
Stop.
I told him, look, if you need me to tell you and hear it from my lips, I forgive you. I forgave you a long time ago, and I forgave you for me, not for you. But I forgave you. And if you need that to be able to die in peace, you have it.
Right.
I don't hate you. I'm sorry for the position you're in now. I can't give up my life to come stay with you, but I do forgive you.
Yeah.
I could not tell him I loved him because I didn't.
That is deep.
I didn't, and I wouldn't lie.
Do you know what your bio dad? Oh, go ahead, Angie. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I was saying, how can you love somebody you don't know?
Right.
That's true.
And
what did your bio dad do for work? London girl asked that.
We don't know.
The only thing he told my mom is that he worked at a CPA's office.
And he did.
And who knows if that was like a real thing?
Nobody knows.
My mother knew he was a thief. I ain't gonna lie. He probably robbed banks for a living. I don't know.
Jenny
allegedly.
He didn't have to go to a sperm bank. He just went all over the place.
That's what I said earlier. She didn't need AI. She had him. But
right. She was asking because like he traveled so much, so it was kind of like, well, what the hell did he do? Like for work. Okay, I get why she was asking that. Yeah.
He said he was a truck driver. He told Mama never saw a truck. I asked my mama's sister. Now, the only two people I've talked to about Angie is Faith and my mama's sister. And I just felt like those were the two that I needed to talk to. But my aunt told me he went under so many different aliases. Like, I think, Angie, didn't your mom know him as Lloyd?
Pat.
She knew Pat too? Okay.
Pat.
Okay, so Pat seems like the name everybody knew.
Well, a lot of the cousins call him Uncle Lloyd. And everybody else called him Pat. But some say he was a truck driver. I know good and well he wasn't never a CPA, even though that was a story. The cops did come looking for him a lot at Mama's when he was gone. Who knows? We don't know what he did. We don't know what he did, where he was, who he was with, or how many babies he created along the way.
Right. I wonder if any of the other women like knew truly who he was, or did he live kind of like this double life or quadruple life, as we know? Did any of them really know the truth? Because I bet if you talk to any one of them, they'll probably tell you a different story. Like how would we really know? I guess the only thing he kept consistent was his name, because you both do have the last name Fields.
No. I have never been a Fields.
Oh, that's why you didn't know. Okay, got it. So I guess, no, that's not even consistent either. Wow.
Now, my last name is Fields. Faith's last name was Fields, and Sean's last name was Fields. Other than now, we do have two sisters we found that have his last name.
Angie, I think they like your chair.
Oh, my chair?
Yeah, they said it's eloquent.
Oh, thank you. I have 6 of them around this table.
And I just asked the chat, I put down in there if there was any questions that they might have further. I know somebody was asking, how far apart you guys live. We answered that earlier. They're 9 hours apart. So, and you guys do plan on meeting. Is this soon or like down the road?
We're going to wait till COVID's over. everybody's fully vaccinated except me, and I've got to have one more shot. And then we'll plan it from there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's going to be soon. I mean, it'll be this year.
Yes, and this will be more like you two connecting and meeting for the first time, not with everyone, right?
Right. Our
Oh, yeah.
husbands are a lot alike too. So
Yeah, I think Kim's going to come down to Galveston and we're going to hang out on the beach.
Oh, that's awesome. And what I like is that, you two are so similar. Even though you guys weren't raised together, that's the crazy part. Like, you guys are so, like, have this energy like y'all grew up with each other. That's
I
what a
feel
lot of
like
people are
it.
saying in the chat and stuff like that. Like, the whole twin thing that people were saying and stuff, and AT2 go along the film. You know what? I'll do the interview when they meet each other. I'll do a follow-up interview
There you go.
with them. That would be
We'll
awesome.
videotape some of the stuff so y'all can have it.
Yes, definitely. We would like some kind of vlog video or something. Like, we definitely want that. I'm gonna start out with you
exclusive.
first. Right. I'm gonna start out with you first, Kim. Is there anything else that you wanted people to know, or any information out there that you want to give them?
If I don't even know how to say this. My biological father's name is Lloydpatrickfields. His date of birth is March 3rd, 1945. He traveled nationwide and left a trail of children and hurt women behind. We are two of those children. We are only connected by him biologically. Other than that, he does not serve any purpose in our life. We are connected with cousins. It's not their fault he was the way he was either. But we do want to meet our siblings. If you would contact me, if this is your biological father, you can get me on Instagram at Fields of Grace 101. Send me a DM. I will message you back. You can contact AT2. He'll get in touch with me.
Yes.
I'm on YouTube at Fields of Grace 101. Please contact me. And like I said, I mean, Angie and I are so close, and that has nothing to do with anybody else. I mean, that, like I said, is a God thing.
Right. And Angie, what about you? Is there any words that you want to give to the people or anyone else that you're trying to connect with from your bio dad side?
No, I think Kim pretty much summed it up. If there's anybody out there that if you think he may be your father, all you got to do is spit in that tube and send it in. And even if you're out there looking for somebody, you think you may have siblings out there, just don't give up. Keep trying, because at 50 and 51, you're never too old. You're never too old to make those connections. Just keep trying, and you never know.
Caroline brings up a good point. You said he was Indian in San Diego, the reservation. They pay Indians every month. Do you think that he was getting money from a reservation?
I don't know.
I wouldn't think
Mohican.
So. I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, wasn't he Mohican?
Yeah, we're Mohican.
Okay, Mohican.
If you go down the line, we have like a great grandfather that was a Mohican chief. So, I mean, it's easy to follow that line. We're actually Mohican princesses. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So you can go down and find, that line, and you can do all of that. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you may be a Mohican, go down the line and see, you may have that connection too. So
our grandmother's maiden name, his mother's maiden name is Brooks. She was from France. Her name was Adamise Brooks. We do have a family tree on Ancestry.com. I don't even know where all we are now because Angie and I have been looking everywhere.
Right,
But
I can imagine. All we know is that he's from New York. He got ties to Mississippi, Texas,
Louisiana,
and Florida. Oh, Louisiana,
Kentucky.
Florida,
There's two sisters in
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yeah,
Kentucky.
our
Okay,
two
Kentucky.
sisters that were born around 85 were actually in Louisville, Kentucky, before I got there. But their mother, that would have made me and Angie 15 at the time, and their mother was 17 at the time. So we've got sisters quite a bit younger than us. We don't know how many else.
Right.
I love you, Jenny. Yeah.
Yes,
I don't
Jenny is
brag about being
awesome.
a princess, but yeah.
And I just want to say thank you, ladies, so much for sharing your story and just being so
Thank
open
you.
and honest. Thank you, Kim. Make sure you guys follow her at Fields of Grace 101. Angie, I know you're not a YouTuber, but thank you for being brave enough, because there's people who will not come on camera and not even be brave enough to share anything like this. So I just wanted to personally thank you as well, too, Angie.
Oh, it was a blast. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and I can't wait for you guys to meet and then, come back on the show, tell the story. I know there's going to be so many more updates, and hopefully anybody, that is related will reach out to you guys, and definitely you guys will welcome them with open arms, no matter who they are. So definitely we'll be looking forward to any updates. And Kim, I'm pretty sure you're going to go on your channel and update us if there's anything. So
Absolutely.
definitely we'll be looking forward. And it's Fields of Grace 101. That's how they can find you, right?
You never thought, yes. You never thought you would be up there with Oprah and Maury and all these other ones.
Right.
Look at you.
Somebody need to give me a contract. I need my
That's
own
right.
TV show now.
Don't forget the little people when you get up there.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. And everyone else, thank you so much for showing so much love and support. Caroline, thank you for sharing your story. I did read it earlier. And I want to say, anybody suffering from alcoholism, please don't give up on your family members, and also please try to get them help. And then as far as, their story, thank you guys for liking, sharing, doing all that good stuff, because the more people we have eyes on this, the more hopefully, some of the ones that haven't heard about this, and then some of the ones that were kind of hesitant and reaching out, maybe this will inspire them to finally reach out. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. Any last words, ladies?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I love you. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
You're
and thanks
welcome.
for all the kind words in the comments. Nobody was mean today, and I appreciate that.
Yes,
Me
we
too.
had one person in the comment, but I think they got rid of them real quick. So
thank you, mods, whoever got rid of them. So
yes, thank you, mods. I appreciate y'all, and I love you guys. We're out of here. Deuces.